Hello and welcome to the Watering Hole. Thanks for checking out this clip. Don't forget to like and subscribe because that'll make the baby Jesus cry, and I know how much you guys love making the baby Jesus cry. Alright, shall we do some tweets?
No, but I guess we can.
Well, we're starting with answers in Genesis.
Oh, great.
They say, though embarrassing, a growling stomach reminds us that the Creator designed our bodies to uniquely sound the alarm when it's time for our next meal.
What? But it... God, I'm so happy that the Creator made stomach growls.
But also, like, stomach growls is just like, literally, it's just air moving through your intestines. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally it. So it's like, and like, do you not feel hungry before you hear that you're hungry? Like, I get that, like, you can train yourself to not feel hungry to a certain extent.
Yeah, to a degree you can do that.
Vice versa. This is the problem that I have. I snack so much that, like, I will start eating things when I am bored and not actually hungry because my body is sending me signals that I need to eat something just because that's what I do when I'm bored. So, like, is that intelligent design?
No, that's habits. And yeah. I'm not going to lie. Habits are one of the best and also worst parts of being a human being.
Yeah, I can see that.
Said Cirrus has a habit of ignoring my redeems regardless. Ninjas, thank you for the... Ninjas, thank you for the 100 bits. Said, see Bill Murray, this man has no dick. 2, I'm not trying to ignore it. I'm just also on a stream with someone else who also has redeems.
Yeah, I know, but mine don't happen very often, so you can interrupt my stream for your redeems.
Don't tell them that.
No, you can. I don't mind. You can do it. Please your audience, Cirrus. Fillet them right now.
All of them at once?
All of them. Yep. It's more fun that way.
I feel like I should do less of that thing.
Rosina says, didn't the orange one's grandfather die of Spanish flu, not Alzheimer's? I don't know. Cirrus is the one who made that claim.
No, I didn't make that claim. I read somebody else making that claim.
Cirrus, look at the hat. It is our claim.
Wolf and Geo Burdette, thank you for resubscribing. God.
Do it.
Fuck. What am I even supposed to do?
You know what you're supposed to do?
No, actually, legitimately, I don't.
This is the same lead up you normally give to when someone redeems an uwu, so I thought that's what was coming.
No.
Okay.
There's nothing coming. Nothing's coming except me.
Okay, that's fair. Darwin to Jesus says they really struggle with this. And it's the meme with the guy choosing between the two buttons, which say accuse God of being evil and accept objective morality as both the buttons. And they were so proud of this that they put their little copyright thing.
Do they not realize that, like, objective morality works in atheistic frameworks too? Like, all objective morality cares about is that we have a thing to fucking point to. That's the one thing that it cares about. Christians believe that that one thing is either God, the Word of God, or the Bible, depending on which one they think is that thing. But that there's plenty of atheistic philosophers who are objective moral realists.
Here's the thing. Okay, yeah, whatever. All that philosophy bullshit, whatever. I have videos about that. You can watch my videos about that. Cirrus probably has videos about that. You can watch Cirrus's videos about that. We probably have videos where we've talked about that on stream. Whatever. The morality conversation has been done to death, and I will continue to do it to death from here on out. The reason I chose this one is because this person doesn't understand how this meme works. These are supposed to be two things that it's difficult to choose between. Like, so either you can accuse God of being evil, or you accept objective morality. Usually, these people would present this as though, like, if you accuse God of being evil, that means you are accepting objective morality. And objective morality comes from God, therefore you have killed yourself with this argument or whatever. But it's like, okay, no, I'll just push the left button. It's fine. Left button. Not a hard time choosing. So, like, So the thing that I find funny about this is just that he doesn't understand the meme, and he was so proud of it that he put his watermark on it.
Yeah, it would have made way more sense if you had one of those memes where it's like, when I feel like A but B.
Or the meme with the guy holding the person back from the big ball or whatever, where like the big ball is accuse God of being evil, and it's objective morality holding the atheist back from being able to accuse the ball of being evil. That would have made more sense.
Like, there's plenty of ways to make this work instead of this.
Yeah. Oh.
And instead, we get this non-meme.
Yeah.
PJ Blazer says, respond with the hit both buttons meme. Jeez. Are you desperately trying to find the meme, Rhino?
No, I am. I'm actually actively generating the meme.
Oh, okay.
Because it's so fucking easy to do.
Yep, there you go. There you go.
I'm sorry that the framing's off.
But that's the meme. There it is.
Yeah, the ball is accused God of being evil. Atheists are the guy reaching for the ball. Objective morality is holding him back. That's what he was trying to do. But he sucks, so this is what he ended up with. Yeah, so I'm just dunking on his meme instead of actually talking about the thing.
So what you're saying is he needs to hire somebody who's really, really young and actually understands internet humor?
Sirs, that's the nicest thing you've ever said about me. Are you saying I'm really, really young and understand internet humor?
No, but I think you've hired people who are.
I'm so touched. Come on. I came up with that on the fly, goddammit.
I don't know what you have in your ear.
Yeah, but like, okay, come on. You saw me typing that into my friggin' thing. You saw me like
for all I know, it was you on Discord typing in, "Please send help. How do I be funny?"
You know what kind of a goddamn perfectionist I am with regards to this stupid shit. You think I would? You think that this framing of the meme is something that I would find acceptable if I hadn't just done this on the fly?
So what you're saying is you're not.
I am young and I understand the culture, sirs. I'm young and I understand internet culture.
I'm glad you think that.
I have the skibbity riz. Plow King has spoken.
You have the skibbity riz, so you're charging a phantom tax?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'm glad. I hate every word that came out of both of our mouths right there, just so you know.
I know. I do too. So Eric Hovind, I'm not going to read this whole thing. This is just me being jealous. So Evil Universe me, he's on a mission trip to Fiji. Other people are giving donations that are tax deductible for Eric Hovind to go to a tropical paradise so that he can go up in front of a school and be like, hey, God created the universe 6,000 years ago. See ya, I'm going to the beach. What the fuck? I want to be a bad guy, Cirrus.
So you can get paid to lie to people?
Bad guy. Why can't I just be a bad guy?
Because you would make more money and then we wouldn't be friends.
Hey, guys, come on, audience. Give me and Cirrus money and we will go on a mission trip to Fiji to try and undo some of Eric Hovind's damage. Send us to Fiji and we will talk to these school children and tell them that evolution's actually real and explain why.
You realize that because of the trolling nature...
We will give our 1-hour presentation on why evolution is true, and then we will fuck off and go to the beach, just like Eric Hovind is doing.
You know that with the trolling nature of both of our audiences, they're going to take that as a challenge to just mail a bottle of Fiji water to our P.O. boxes.
Rosina says, Vice Rhino is young and sexy, and that's why he's never watched Full Metal Alchemist. Goddamn right, Rosina. Thank you so much.
Sidebar, you should watch Full Metal Alchemist.
Probably, yeah.
It's actually fairly short for an anime.
EB the Nerd says the start of Rhino's villain arc. No, if you've been watching my channel for long enough, I think the first time I said anything public about it was in one of my Ian Juby responses, because Ian Juby is a creationist in Canada. He's from my neck of the woods. He's a fucking idiot. And his organization is a registered charity, so he pays no taxes because he draws his salary from them. And it's a big fucking scam. And when I was responding to him, I legitimately looked into what it would take to register my channel as a charity, because I'm like, okay, well, if a fucking creationist organization can just be like, Charles Lyell was an idiot, ho ho ho, and call that charity work, so that's basically what Ian Juby does. He just looks at people like smart scientists from history and calls them idiots, because like, and he'll flex that he like has a high enough IQ to make it into Mensa, which, if anything, just proves that IQ is bogus. Like, I already thought that IQ was bogus, and then I found out that Ian Juby has a high enough IQ to make it into Mensa, and I'm like, okay, that proves it. IQ is bogus. So I legitimately looked into what it would take for me to register as a charity, and if you're not a religion, there's so much goddamn oversight. Like, I could probably technically do it, could like call myself an educational institution or whatever, but like there's so much oversight that I would probably lose my house should my charity status ever be revoked. And there's a non-zero chance that it would be revoked. Whereas if I was just a religion, it'd be like, yeah, no, I'm a religion. You don't get to look into any of my stuff.
Nope.
And like, why? Why is that the case? I don't understand it.
Well, you see, runs away hiding.
Yeah.
America and Canada both have a rich history of being kind of fucking bad about this.
Well, yeah, the assumption is that like people, like religious people are like people of God, and people of God are moral automatically, as the dirty atheists that are immoral. So Duct Tape Jake says, clearly just say your religion then, easy. It's actually not as easy in Canada as it is in the States. If I was in the States, I absolutely could just declare myself religion, essentially. It makes me mad that Cameron Bertuzzi constantly asks people for money as though he's hurting. When it's like, he gets a similar amount of views as me, so like I know what kind of money he makes on the YouTube side of things, and on Patreon he makes a shit ton more than I do. And the fact that he's always begging for money, talking about how he's running his channel at a deficit, I'm just like, bitch, please. If you're running at a deficit, that's a spending problem on your part. That is not, you do not need more money.
Jeez.
But that's a whole nother can of worms. I want to be a bad guy. I want to be a bad guy is the moral of the story.
Cameron makes me upset when I hear his name. Is that a bad thing? Does that mean I have a...
No.
Is that like an unhealthy thing for me?
No, he makes me upset too. I actually, so when I dug into his finances a little, because like he doesn't have to divulge a lot, but because he is a charity, there is some divulgence. I may have stumbled across his home address, and I may have found it on Google Maps and the Street View. And I will just say, I was not surprised at all to find out that Cameron is the kind of person that mows his lawn topless while wearing a backwards ball cap.
Like, he just sounds like a douche then.
I saw that on Google Street View and I was like, yeah, nope, that actually tracks. That tracks. Okay. I'm not going to tell you how to find his address, but I did find his address. And Rosina says, also watch Ranma half for the full Riz power up. I don't understand that reference. I'm sorry.
Ranma 1/2. It just got a remake literally a couple weeks ago and is currently having episodes put out weekly, I believe. I need to watch it as well. It is an anime about a guy who ends up getting a harem around him, and the guy itself, Ranma, falls into a cursed lake that makes him turn into a girl anytime he gets hit with cold water. Hot water turns him back into a dude. I think we've
talked about this before.
Yes. It is a very fucking funny show because he did not consent to a single one of the people that he ends up getting betrothed to during the entirety of this show. It is a combination of his dad trying to get, like, he'll try to get them a room for a month somewhere and be like, hey, I'll set up an arranged marriage between my son and your daughter. And he just does it multiple times to multiple people. And it just makes Ranma's life worse and worse every time it fucking happens.
Okay. 30 to 50 annoyingly feral peccaries newsletter says, so if Cirrus registered the religion, then Rhino just opens a Canadian branch, ... Yeah, no, that wouldn't actually work because of Canada's stricter requirements for starting a religion. So I am an ordained minister of whatever that religion is, that essentially you just pay them like $40 and they send you a certificate saying you're allowed to perform marriages. I'm not allowed to perform marriages in Canada because they don't recognize that as a religion. Universal Life Church, is that it? I don't know. I don't know what religion I'm an ordained minister of. I just know that I'm an ordained minister.
Okay. That's certainly a way to do it.
Yeah, no, I literally did that to win a Twitter fight. Because somebody was like, oh, well, this guy's more qualified than you to talk about it because he's a minister. I was like, okay. I went and signed up and was like, here's my certificate with my name blacked out. I'm an ordained minister now. Does this mean I'm just as qualified as him? Because, like, being an ordained minister means fucking nothing. But yeah, Canada actually has some standards as to what counts as a religion, so that one doesn't count because they are very clearly just, like, registering people to perform marriages and do funerals and whatnot.
But you are an ordained minister, so
I am,
technically.
yes. But not in Canada is my point there. Anyway, Jacob says, how is being objective racism? Also, it would be more xenophobic not to be racist given that Japan is a country, not a race. So, some context for this. Someone posted a video of, like, I forget what the show was called. Where are we? This was the video.
Oh, yeah, that's from Trigun.
Yeah. And...
Oh,
yeah. So this guy's response to that video is basically to say, like, oh, Japanese people don't understand the physics of guns. Haha. And it's like...
It's a like, fucking anime.
It's a fucking... Yeah, it's an anime that, like, very clearly that was not going for realism. I don't think anyone...
going for fucking hilarious.
I don't think anyone saw that and thought, yeah, this is a realistic thing that someone would do with a gun. Like, no. It's supposed to be funny and over the top and ridiculous. And so people were calling him racist for saying, like, oh, Japanese people don't understand guns because this show that was very clearly trying to be silly about it did a silly gun. And this was his response, was like, oh, how is being objective racism? And then he gets into the, like, oh, so this reminded me of the, like, the people that are like, oh, it's not pedophilia, it's technically...
It's ebophilia.
Sure, whatever. I was going to say hemophilia, but then I'm like, no, that's a blood disorder.
It's not pedophilia, they just like the blood, the adrenochrome, if you will.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like, no, if you're splitting hairs over, like, oh, technically if a girl is above the age of 13 but below the age of 16 it's this, but if she's over 16 but under 18 it's that, and if she's under 12 it's this. If you're splitting hairs, but you're just a pedophile. Sorry. That's just how it works.
You're just trying to find a way to fucking get at that point.
Well, it's not racist because, you know, Japanese isn't a race. It's nationality. So, like, it's more xenophobic than racist. Like, no, you're just a fucking racist. You telling me you don't have racist opinions about Chinese people as well, or Korean people? Like, yeah, no, you're just a racist.
You know who else doesn't understand guns? Americans. You know why? Yeah. Because we think they're things to be worshipped.
Yeah. B. Joshua says, he has a mile-long gun but still turns invisible. It's not serious. Yeah, notably when he turned invisible, his gun was still visible.
Yep.
Like, I feel like someone would have seen the gun before they saw him.
No, fucking Trigun is filled with that kinds of stuff. It is a very over-the-top anime, and it's also very, very good.
Okay. Yeah, I just thought it was funny, and it reminded me very much of the, like, the people splitting hairs over the differences between what age of underage technically counts as pedophilia. I'm just like, nope, you're splitting hairs over something that just makes you a bad person. Okay, next up. This is just a screenshot that I saved that someone posted that I just saved the screenshot. I want to see if you can figure it out. It is Hollow Knight related, but I feel like you should be able to figure it out. Just take a moment.
It's loss.
Yeah.
It's just loss.
It's Hollow Knight loss.
Yeah, it's just loss. It's all loss. It's always
It's
loss.
the Nail Master.
It's
And
always loss.
Notably, if you don't kill the Nail Master in the bottom left corner, because like the little dude there, your knight, he like the Nail Master upgrades your nail, and then when it becomes the pure nail, he's just like, hey, my life's work is done now. I've never made a better weapon than this, and the only way to complete my life is for you to strike me dead with this beautiful weapon that I've made, because nothing could possibly compare to that. And so he wants you to kill him, and if you kill him, then his body shows up in another area that's like below this one in the map. But if you don't kill him, he ends up in a absolutely adorable and wholesome gay relationship with a painter.
Now his life has more meaning.
Yeah. So I can never bring myself to kill him. Like I did it once for the achievement, and I felt horrible about it. So I'm like, oh, but it was so wholesome when he was like a happy couple with the painter guy, and it was so great. I did also once.
My brain is poisoned by Lost. I'm so sorry.
I don't know. Whenever I see Lost, I was back to the HBomberguy thing. Anytime I see Lost, I picture him crawling naked, covered in goop, out of the middle of a printout of the comic. And I'm just like, so I have emailed him to be like, hey, you want to come on our show for an interview? I'm expecting to never get a response to that, and so far that has been the case. But if he ever does come on the show, I just want to ask, what the fuck was with all the little side skits in your Control-Delete thing? It's like, I have an idea of what it was supposed to be, but I also, like, I feel like my idea of what it was supposed to be is one of those things where, like, I could absolutely see him doing that because it's just ridiculous, but I could also see me just missing the point entirely. So, like, my idea is that, like, because that whole video is all about how Control-Delete is just senseless and, like violence for violence's sake, and just randomly going back to a storyline that tries to be serious, like nothing really is cohesive or makes sense about the comic. I feel like his asides in there are a meta commentary about that, where like, I just do these things that make no sense and don't tie into it whatsoever, and that makes it good, right? I feel like that's the point, but I also feel like I could have just missed the point.
He's also done that in a lot of other videos too. Like,
yeah, but in the other videos, they actually seem to kind of tie in.
I mean, does it really tie in when you're breaking down a wall with an axe just to say?
No, but that wasn't like that wasn't a bit that ran the entire length of the video, though. That was just like a one-off. Like, I do shit like that in my videos.
Sell the houses to who, Ben? Fucking Aquaman.
Yeah, but like that's a one-off bit. That's not a whole plot line that makes no sense, that is running parallel to the main video. I don't know.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I might be thinking too much about it, but I also might just be missing it. I don't know. I want to ask him. Everybody email HBomberguy and be like, hey, you need to do the interview from the guy that emailed you a couple weeks ago. Okay. Russell Brand says, heaven is a place for broken people. It's like, okay, then heaven's not perfect.
Yeah.
Also, I find it curious that he became a Christian right around the time that people started coming out with sexual assault allegations against him. Seems like he recognized that the right wing is more willing to tolerate shit people and give them money as long as they say what they want them to say.
Did you ever watch The Boys?
No.
Because that's what one of the characters in The Boys does when sexual assault allegations start coming against her. She just leans really heavily into the, I'm a born-again Christian.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that God has a plan for me. And I know that he will use me despite how broken I am.
Yeah. Yeah, Russell Brand is very clearly grifting. And it makes me sad that people are falling for it, but I'm not really surprised.
Christians will take any W they can
I
get.
mean, he's also. Did you see that he's selling magical amulets that protect you from the 5G?
What? But
Yeah, for like $400 a pop.
but why?
Because he can. Come on, if you could sell a fucking cheap ass amulet for $400 that costs you maybe $5 to make or to have drop shipped or whatever. Like, if you could do it without lying to people, would you not do it?
If I could do it without lying to people, sure.
Yes, and that's my.
But what's the way that you do it without lying to people?
You don't. That's why we don't do it. Because we have morals.
Like I feel like you. It's like I've made a point to say on my channel, like it. Everybody has their price. Everybody has that magical number that will make them do something horrible.
I don't know that that's true.
I am a very cynical bastard. I believe it is true of most people. The problem though is that if you think about that as a finite amount, but your trustworthiness goes out the window forever, how do you handle that?
I don't know.
How do you sleep with that?
Here's the thing, because yeah, that's my thing, is that I think long term, and I think of the impact that my words have on the people that I talk to. So I'm like, easy example is established titles. They were going to pay me $1,200 a month to rerun an ad that I had already recorded just once a month in my videos. And like, I didn't have to do anything else. I could even shit talk them in my other videos and be like, hey, yeah, you know, the established titles ad, don't do it. Just fucking ignore those ads. They're just paying me a shit ton of money to do it. It's like $1,200 a month.
It's not going to undo the endorsement.
I have been in situations where like $1,200 a month was my entire income for the month. That's not a fun place to be. $1,200 a month is a lot of money. And it was they were offering me that for no work. And like, yeah, I can't say that my answer to them would have been different if it was like $100,000 a month. I don't think I would have done it, because like looking long term, it's like, yeah, no, I have now made it obvious that I'm willing to lie for money. Is that something that I'm willing to do for myself? And no, I don't think it is.
Yeah, because once you start...
Okay, that being said, I do have a soft spot for my children. So like, I might not personally have a monetary number, but like, if you're like, oh, I will take care of all of your children, make sure they are comfortable for their entire lives, and like they will never have to worry about paying the bills, I could see that being a motivation for me.
And but doing something likewise, where they go, hey, you get $1 million, but your kids get, $3 million each or something to survive off of when they become adults. Like, stuff like that would end up running into, I imagine that could end up running into being an issue. Yeah. But the problem though is that those are all one-off things.
Yes.
What Russell Brand is doing is not that.
Well, I mean,
and it is a constant grift that has to be maintained. So
the way I phrased it, it was not a one-off thing. It was like, if you take care of my children for the rest of their lives and make sure they will never have trouble paying their bills. It's like, I don't know that there is one monetary amount that is going to guarantee that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I would be willing to do things for my kids that I would not be willing to do for myself, is what I'm getting at here.
No, and that's fair. That's fair. There are areas you would not stoop to yourself, but there are areas you would stoop to make sure that they are safe.
As a pure hypothetical, if me trashing my reputation meant that my kids were going to be safe and happy and healthy for the rest of their lives, I would probably do it. I'm not going to lie. And that's actually the problem, is that I'm not going to lie.
And there is that price that I talked about. Everybody has. Okay,
maybe you're right. My price is not a monetary value. It's about, okay, whatever.
It's about the well-being of your kids.
Yeah.
My issue that I run into though is that anytime that I think of that hypothetical, it's like it's a one-off thing.
Yeah.
This is the price that you would pay once in order to gain this. When I'm looking at something like what Russell Brand is doing, it's not a one-off thing anymore. This is somebody who is compromising their trustworthiness. And the thing is it's a Faustian bargain. You have to compromise your trustworthiness to begin with in order to start the grift.
And now the only people who are going to be willing to hang out with you are the people who are like you are acting
also
to be
lying.
Yeah.
The only people who are willing to be around you anymore are the monsters that you are, the monster that you've become for that grift. And if you hop off of that grift, people aren't going to look at you and go, oh, I'm so happy you stopped that. They're going to look at you and scrutinize you even further. They're going to go, you hopped off of one train. How do we know this isn't you hopping onto another train?
Yeah. Rosina says you can buy a bundle of 4 magic amulets for under $600 US. Don't know what that is in Canadian fake money units. 600 would be probably about 800 Canadian. I think. Yeah. I don't know. I can Google it.
Yeah, Cromcake says that this is why grifts are bad. Yeah, because you have to maintain them. You have to maintain a
600
grift.
US is 825 Canadian at the moment.
Right, the biggest problem with any grift is the maintenance.
Shauria says, guy with no formal background in engineering did this. You can just do things. I hate to break it to you. The guy with no formal background in engineering had nothing to do with this. He might have said at one point, hey, what if booster rockets could be reused? But then...
That's not the same thing as doing it.
Then the people with the engineering backgrounds did it.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, no.
He was not the engineer that did it.
He is an idiot who got lucky with a bunch of money from an emerald mine from his father, and managed to. It was like, when you start with that kind of money, it's hard to not make more money.
And hey, Growl, if I understand it, slightly after, it's 10:30, so it's after 10. Your timing is wrong.
You take Growlith out, because I have to take myself out. So I'm gonna go pee. You take Growlith out at the same time, and we can.
We'll be back at the same time.
You know what? Someone earlier was like, "Hey, instead of singing, why don't you do a performance of 4:33?" So we'll call this our performance of 4:33. So you have to take 4 minutes and 33 seconds to leave. So this is it. This is our musical performance for the night.
Come on, Growly. Let's go.
Oh, YouTuber Grudge is leaving. Is this because we started performing 4:33? Yeah, so with regards to Musk, it's just like I used to think, back before I lost all respect for Musk, I never had a lot, but like I used to think the thing that made him special was that like he had good ideas, and then the other people, then like the engineers and scientists he hired would make his ideas come true. Then it became abundantly clear that he doesn't actually have good ideas. He just has a lot of ideas. So he just spews out all of the ideas that he has and then pays a bunch of people to try and make them all work. And occasionally he gets one that kind of pans out. So like, that's his thing. He has enough money to pay people to kind of make his ideas sort of work. And like, I think the Cybertruck is the quintessential example of that, where like he had an idea of the truck that he wanted to make, and it wasn't a good idea, but he paid enough people to make it happen, and so it kind of happened. Sorta. It's like, it was supposed to be $40,000, but the cheapest one you can get is like $90,000. So, So, yeah, no, he just said in a room full of engineers once, what if we could reuse booster rockets? And so the engineers were like, I guess we better work on that. So that is how you got this. This wasn't Elon Musk doing this. This was Elon Musk paying other people to do this. But we'll wait for Cirrus to get back before we move on to the next one. Oh, does the Cybertruck catch fire when it's wet?
Does the Cybertruck catch fire when it's wet?
I hadn't heard that one yet. I know that it's nowhere near as good as it's supposed to be, and it's a lot more expensive than it's supposed to be.
I keep seeing more Cybertrucks in the wild.
I still have only seen 2. which I think was the same number as last time I talked about it. Yeah, no, I was just talking about how like Elon hasn't actually made any of this happen. He has just paid other people to make them happen, and even then, like I used to think that he was an idea guy, where like he might have really good ideas, but yeah, he'll pay other people to make them happen. But recently, it's not that he's an idea guy; it's that he just has a lot of ideas, and he tries to make them happen, and he funnels a lot of money into the ones that he's the most passionate about, and then they kind of happen. And so Cybertruck is the quintessential example of that, because like that's clearly his baby that he really wanted to happen, but then like when it comes to market, it's twice the price of what he said it would be, and has a lot of problems.
Yep.
And yeah, it makes me very concerned that SpaceX gets government money. It's like Elon takes more money in from the government than even the most prolific of welfare queens that you could imagine. And he doesn't actually do anything for it. Yeah, maybe SpaceX does stuff for it, but like the idea that he's in charge of SpaceX is terrifying. Like even when they're doing good work, like he could with a word completely alter the American space program, and that's terrifying because he's unstable.
Yeah, the last kind of billionaire you want in charge of anything is an unstable billionaire, which also just happens to be all of them.
Yeah. All right, so I broke my rule. I pulled someone else's screenshot, but I have verified that this is a true thing. But yeah, Trump got upset that Harris was like, hey, yeah, I released my medical records. Why doesn't he? And his response to that was not to release his medical records, was to be like, oh, well, she has allergic rhinitis and allergic conjunctivitis. Oh, no, those are very messy and dangerous situations. These are deeply serious conditions that clearly impact her function.
What?
No, it's seasonal allergies, buddy.
Seasonal allergies don't deeply, like what?
If you can solve this problem with an antihistamine, it's not a deeply dangerous situation.
The only reason that he can say that with a straight face is he knows his audience is too stupid to know what those things are.
Yeah, Fennec says, not messy, just as annoying as hell. Counterpoint, I have a 6-year-old who produces more snot than any person I've ever seen before, and he has seasonal allergies. So, yes, messy as hell. Messy as fuck. But still, you can be president and have allergies. He's probably got dementia, and he's not releasing his medical records. If the worst thing he could find out about Harris from her medical records was that she has seasonal allergies, then I feel pretty good about her medical records.
Yup.
Hitchmeister says, how is she supposed to golf 300 days a year with hay fever? But yeah, so I'm not reading that whole tweet. Oh yeah, here we go. Twitter Engineering says, soon we'll be launching a change to how the block function works. If your posts are set to public, accounts you have blocked will be able to view them, but they will not be able to engage, like, reply, retweet, etc. So yeah, empowering stalkers.
Yeah, that's all that does, which I guess makes sense since Elon Musk is a consummate stalker.
Well, so this all happened when this all proceeds from when Elon found out that he is the most blocked account on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
That was when he started talking about just removing the block function entirely. And then the EU was like, yeah, but that would violate our safety rules, so then we'd have to make you illegal. So then he was like, okay, I guess we won't do that. And I guess this is their compromise, because they still technically can't interact. But like, this is just Elon making decisions based on his own ego. Like, people block me, which means they don't see my posts. So if I make it so that when you block someone, you can still see their posts. Well, no, I suppose it doesn't say anything about what happens when you block someone, because like right now, when I block someone, it gives me a little thing. It was like, oh, this is an account that you've blocked. Click show to show it or whatever. So maybe it'll still hide the post from you, but this is still him trying to make himself as visible as possible to everyone else. And this is pushing me much closer towards a future where I just lock down my account, don't do anything publicly anymore, and only log in for screenshots for Twit tweets. And realistically, like, this is like, eventually this is going to push me to Threads or Blue Sky or whatever takes over from Twitter, because I'm sure there's idiots over there by now.
Almost everybody's doing Blue Sky, it looks like, and Blue Sky actually has something called the Sky Follower Bridge, which will take all of your followers from Twitter and just allow you to refollow them automatically over on Blue Sky.
Okay.
You could just migrate everything.
Maybe I'll do that. I will give that a try, maybe. I was on Threads for a while, but then I just kept forgetting about it. So, but like, if Twitter keeps getting worse, eventually I'm just not going to want to go. Like, it's even when Musk first took over, it was actually good for Twit tweets because it was so much easier to find the shit posters and the idiots, which does not speak well of Twitter.
No.
But it made my life a little bit easier. But now it's getting to the point where, like, the accounts that I'm seeing coming up are like, the For You page is just, it's a big shit show or whatever, but that's where I find a lot of the stuff that I use. But now it's just like, it's accounts trying to like sell me things that I can 3D print myself, or is just posting clips from The Simpsons, or one of the most concerning trends is, like, I am now increasingly more likely to, as I'm just scrolling through Twitter's timeline, there'll just be a video of someone actually dying.
Oh, the one with the guy getting hit by the train?
Oh no, not the one. There are a bunch,
multiple.
Like, there are several accounts that post like shocking content, and a lot of the shocking content involves people actually dying. So I'm like, I don't actually want to see people dying. That is not a thing that I want to see in my life. I don't need that. So, I don't know. It's just making it much less appealing for me. It was like, I'm not going to pull a clip of someone dying to play here. So yeah, Twitter is working hard to make itself unappealing to someone whose job is literally finding unappealing stuff on Twitter. Like, how the fuck did they fuck that one up? So yeah.
Great, isn't it?
I wish Twitter a very speedy bankruptcy. Oh yeah, then they replied to that. They're ostensibly, the reason they're doing this is because a block can be used by users to share and hide harmful or private information about those they've blocked. Users will be able to see if such behavior occurs with this update. Was that ever a problem of someone like blocking you and then sharing your home address, and now you can't see it because you're blocked?
No, because what people would do is they would just
create an alt account.
They would just create an alt account and stalk you on there.
Yeah.
Like, the goal was to always make it just a little bit harder. Like, you make it to where they have to do that. They have to spend time making a separate account. They have to actively do what they can to stalk you.
Yeah, I have a second account because, like, to circumvent blocks or whatever. But B. Josher says, just open Twitter, not logged in. That doesn't work anymore. You have to log in to see posts now.
Yep.
Oh yeah, they're aware of that. So back when you could do that pre-Musk. Yeah, no, Musk is just making Twitter worse, which is quite the feat, I will admit, because it was not great to begin with. Also, the thing that he gets the most credit for, the notes, the community notes, that was a feature that was
a feature before him.
It was rolled out before he bought it. It just wasn't widely rolled out. So he gets to take credit for that when it wasn't his idea. It was other people. It was the people that he bought it from.
I just found out that Quest64 official on Twitter has a Blue Sky account. I don't have to lose the best Twitter account that exists.
All right. I'm happy for you.
You should follow the Quest64. It's wonderful.
Travis Edrington says, the internet is for porn. The internet is for porn, but avoid Twitter, for it is too messed up. Yeah, no, there used to be a lot of porn on Twitter. I'm seeing more people dying on Twitter than I'm seeing porn.
I miss seeing the porn on Twitter.
Yeah. It was fun. You'd be scrolling, then occasionally like, oh, that's a nice butt. And then you just keep scrolling. It was nice.
I was in the Georgia Capitol when I went to go to lobby. I was scrolling on Twitter in the Capitol when porn popped up, and I'm like, oh, that happened.
Yeah, no. Like it's not where I would go to seek out porn, but it's like as you're scrolling your feed, it's like, that's a nice looking naked person. I appreciate that. And keep scrolling. Whereas like now it's like, oh, that is someone who just lost their life. That is traumatic. I did not want to see that. But, yeah. Oh, and that's it for the tweets. So that's the show. We got to complain about Twitter a bunch.
Yay, like always.
I mean, it's twit tweets. That's kind of my whole shtick.
When are we going to start doing twit threads and twit sky?
The name's staying the same. It's always going to be tweets. And since Twitter has given up the moniker, I can use that to apply it to anything now. So,
it's
sure.
True.
Every post is a tweet from all accounts because they don't want to use that anymore. They just wanted to make it generic for some reason.
They're very dumb.
I mean, they're run by Elon, who we've established his success has been in as much as he can pay people to do things that he couldn't ever think of. Oh, they're saying no case orbs? No case orbs. He's getting too sad. I'm starting to find myself almost actually feeling bad for the guy because he's so pathetic now. Like he was posting links to his Cameo where you can pay him to say things that he doesn't agree with. Like he did the intro to Scathing Atheist one week, which is they do the Professor Farnsworth quote where he says, "As a professor of science, I assure you that we did in fact evolve from filthy monkey men." So it wasn't the Scathing guys, it was like one of their fans went to Cameo and paid Kevin Sorbo to do that quote. And so like he has to say it if he wants the money. So he said it, but then he gave a big long thing after him, like, I don't even know what that means, and I don't think that I agree with it. And just like, but he was desperate for that $50 or whatever it is. So he had to say it.
Jeez.
But yeah. So that's our show for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. And as always, fuck off. Guys, I'm sorry. I just came back. I was going to raid Cirrus's channel because he's going to keep streaming. There's a Twitch channel called Cirrus Sucks. I kind of want to raid them.
Are they live?
They are live right now. They have one viewer. I kind of want to raid them.
What?
I'm raiding Cirrus Sucks. I'm raiding Cirrus Sucks. We're raiding Cirrus Sucks, guys. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Cirrus Sucks.
Jesus Christ. What even?
I don't know that it even has anything to do with you. Oh no, it might be Surrey Sucks.
I think it is Surrey Sucks.
Okay, whatever. I rated them. We're rating them. Love it. Okay, bye.
Okay, I have to.
Bye for real.
I have to see what is this?
I don't know.
Is it just somebody reading a blog?
It looks like that. I'm not sure.
It's an emo radio, emo girl.
I don't know what this is.
Guys, we found a channel that looked like it said Cirrus Sucks, but instead I think it's Surrey Sucks, but like there's comedy gold in Rhino rating, and I wonder if they'll actually notice that you rated.
I don't know. They don't appear to be noticing.
Nacha says, Nakibri says you should raid them. Oh, but I have to talk about Asmongold. I can't raid because I have to talk about Asmongold.
It looks like just a drama channel. They're just reading a blog. There we go. They noticed.
There's the raid.
I don't know what this person is.
I don't know either. I don't know either.
I just typed in Cirrus because I was going to raid you, and then it came up with this account. And I read it as Cirrus sucks. I was just like, did someone dedicate a Twitch channel to say that they don't like Cirrus?
That would be amazing.
That would be hilarious. I'd love that. Someone do that and then stream while we're ending, and we will definitely raid you. Okay.
Oh, I don't think she's ever been raided before because she said, "What does that mean?"
Okay. I can't watch that anymore.
It's very, very. It's certainly stuff that is happening.
It is. Yes, that it is. Okay. Well, thanks for joining me, and have a good night. You fuck off for real this time.
Okay.